Hello, welcome. Today is day number 3 for the Daily Creative Challenge, where you get to design a new screen or a series of screen every single weekday. And hello in the chat. Welcome to everyone who's here. Hello, Sam and Chris. How y'all doing? How's the last few days been for you guys? Is this your first day trying it, or have you been doing the last few days? I've already seen some really cool designs from yesterday that I'm excited to share with you guys today. I'm Elizé, I'm your host. I'm an Adobe XD Enterprise instructor, and I create fun and educational content on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all the things. You can find me at Elizé_UX to stay connected. All right, hi Unicorn and Carmel and Frank and Anne and Adnan. Good to see you guys. How was the last few days been for you? Let me know. All right, so let's take a look at my screen real quick. Here we have the Daily Creative Challenge landing page where you're able to enroll into this challenge. The big blue button is where you're able to enroll. This is gonna go from November 8th to December 10th. So we are on day number 3. We are gonna be live every day for the next 2 weeks. And then the following 2 weeks, they're gonna be the replay. So you have 4 weeks to complete your challenges, a full month to enjoy playing around with your designs. And so I hope you guys take advantage of this time. How does this work? Well, every day you're going to receive a challenge. Today we have challenge number 2, the sign up screen. And after that, you can join the community chat right here. It's the Discord chat. And this is where you're going to be able to upload your designs to get feedback. So right into this challenge, the challenge channel right here in Discord is where you can upload your designs. So see, we have some beautiful designs here from Yuyame. Woohoo, yes. And we have some Annie Ann, beautiful designs. This is where you can upload images or a link or a video to your designs, and you're gonna get feedback from mentors and from other people in the community, and you can give feedback as well. You're going to watch the daily live show every day, right? Get some more tidbits from me and some tips and tricks. And right below here is where you're able to download Adobe XD, and you can also join Discord right here. All right, let's take a look at some of the designs people have shared on Behance. So here we have one from Tamer, Adele, and we can launch the prototype right here. Oh, cool. So yesterday, if you missed it, we were working on video, the video feature in Adobe XD, and we're creating a music video app. Oh, here we go. We see that Madonna video. Lovely. This looks really great. Great use of the video and great choice. I loved this music video. I love Frozen. I'm not going to lie. So there's also, let's take a look at this design here from Anna. This beautiful home screen here. Let's play the video. Oh, we have a nice transition. I feel so relaxed. I also like that this is a lighter UI. She's using a lot of white versus some of the other ones are a little darker. This is really nice spin on this exercise. Let's take another look here at Ilham. Oh, wow. These are super beautiful. We have some images that they've shared, as well as a prototype that you can launch. There's the video. This looks great. And also it's so readable, which is really wonderful as well. So great accessibility. Hello, Adongo. I'm doing well. How are you guys doing? It's a Wednesday, so it's, halfway through the week, feeling good, feeling also almost ready for the weekend. All right, so those are such great designs, and I hope that you guys will upload yours in Behance as well so we can take a look at yours. If you want to, all you need to do is when you share your work up here in the upper right-hand side, you can share a project. Once you've uploaded images, videos, whatever you want, in the settings area over here on the right-hand side, under project tags, you will put an XD Creative Challenge. This allows me and others to view your work and to find it. All right, let's get into the design challenge today. Now, day number 3, we are talking neumorphism. Yes, it is hard to say, guys. You try it at home right now. Neumorphism, spelt like this. It's taken me a while to feel comfortable saying it. And this is a trend that I think I've been reading about is going to really become more popular in 2022. It started about 2 years ago, but it's continuing to become a big trend that we're going to see. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about some things to think about for neumorphism. So here, let's see, 2022 trend. If you guys also are just joining and you haven't done the previous 2 exercises, I am going to be covering 2022 trends, UX, UI trends. So that's what the next 2 weeks are going to consist of. This is neumorphism. I tried to spell it out for you as best as I can, neumorphism. And what it is, it has this plastic 3D look where it almost feels like a user could reach out into this button and touch it and feel it. And it has that real life experience. Looks pretty cool, right? Kind of like clay as well, plasticky clay feeling to it. Some of the attributes to it, it's very low contrast. Maybe even in your screen right now, it's gonna be hard to see this design on the left-hand side. Has a really low contrast from the object to the background layer. You can see that this is a material style card, so this is a different type of shadow effect than neumorphism. You can see the difference between the two. It's much more subtle, which also kind of makes it bad for accessibility. But that's a topic for another day. This is the birth of neumorphism. This was a design that was uploaded onto Dribbble a few years ago, and it went viral, and everyone was like, whoa, look at this design. It's so cool, so futuristic. And from there, people have been starting to use it. This is the recipe for one of the kind of components that are more extruding, is that the word? Extruding? That are more coming out of the screen. So it has a light shadow on this left-hand side, on the top and the left, and then a darker shadow on the right and the bottom. And then the actual object is the same color as the background. What we're going to be working on is a sign-in screen using that neumorphism trend. Let's play around with this. How do you guys feel about neumorphism? Is this the first time you've seen it? Have you seen it before? And you're like, how do you do it? Have you been already using it a ton? Where are you guys at? Because honestly, for me, I just used it for the first time to do this exercise. I've been seeing it as a trend and I've been very curious, but I haven't tried it out myself until now. So I'm excited to talk about it. Here I have the screen I'm working with. We're going to recreate this. I'm going to first put this all on an artboard. I am going to select A on my keyboard as the shortcut to enable artboard. And then I'm going to select an artboard. Lauren also, Lauren likes it. Cool, I'm glad. I'm glad you're excited, Lauren. And Anne has seen it but didn't know the name. It's also hard to say the name even though you know it. It's like neumorphism? You'd feel smarter saying it for some reason. It feels sciencey to me. So here I have my artboard and I am going to lay down the color. And again, the color for this is going to be the same as the elements inside, like the fields and the buttons. So here I'm going to select this full artboard, and I can select the artboard by clicking the name over here on the upper top corner. And then from there, I am going to open up my libraries. I've already saved some of the colors that I want to use up here. So I'm going to select this light gray color. Now, something you don't want to do, I guess a best practice, you can't use white, complete white or complete black, because now you're not going to be able to see the lighter and darker shadows. So you have to use a lighter version or a different version of white, a lighter version, a darker version of white, or a lighter version of dark. And I'll show you how to do dark too if we have some time. Here is the background. I'm going to just get straight into the field here and recreate this. I'm going to use R on my keyboard for the shortcut to make a rectangle. I am going to bring in, zoom in, go into this inner circle and pull it all the way in so that it has those rounded corners, feels friendly. Maybe make it a little smaller. From there, I'm going to get rid of that border color, and I'm going to make the fill color the same as the background. So it's disappeared, it's gone, it's invisible, but don't worry, we're gonna make some changes to this. So now I'm going to add some inner shadows. This is kind of more that inset look, inset into the background, where it looks like it's kind of being carved into that background. And you can see that there's a lighter shadow here and then a darker shadow within here on this left-hand side. It's almost like a light is being shown over here, and you can just see it, that light off the right and bottom. So in order to do so, I'm going to put in a inner shadow. Whoa, inner shadow. From here, I am going to put in 5X, 5Y, and I can leave the blur like a 6 or 5. And from here, I am going to make it white. No. Let's actually make this a little darker bluish. Okay. I'm gonna just use my little eyedropper and then select this color. It's just like a little bit darker than the color I'm using in the background, just a tad. So that's kind of what you can think of. If you don't want to use light blue, you can use like a dark gray, and then you're just going to use like something that's a tad darker for that shadow. Okay, so now I have this piece, and I need to now make that white inner shadow. So I'm going to copy it and paste it and make another version of it. This time round, I am going to change this to the white. And then I need to change my X to actually be -5 and -Y. So it's the opposite of the previous one. And then I'm just going to get rid of that fill inside so I can see just the background inside. So there, we already have it. Oh my gosh, isn't that kind of like magic? When I first did it myself, I was like, oh my gosh, this looks so good. Okay, congratulations. So maybe you guys will feel that way too. How do you feel about it? It wasn't that hard, right? It seems like it's gonna be more challenging than it is. So we have that. It already feels like it has that inset. And now I'm going to lay some text on top. I'm selecting T for text on my keyboard, and I'm just gonna type in email address because this is a login page, login screen. And I'm gonna select this and use like a darker text there. And make that a bit smaller. Now, once that piece is there, I want to reuse this over and over again. Basically, I'm going to use it here for the email, but then for the password, and maybe if I was working on a full site, I would be using that component, is what we call it, over and over and over again. So I am going to grab all of those layers, that background layer, that light layer, the text layer, and I'm going to make this a component. So over here on the upper right hand side, there's a plus button next to where it says component, and now it's a component. If you're like, what does that mean? Don't worry, I'll explain. You'll see on the upper left hand corner, there's a green diamond. And if I make a copy of it, there's a white diamond. What this means is, like, if I decide I wanted to change this color from that main component, the original component I created, into, let's say, a red, crazy red color or pink, it's going to make that change across all those copies, or what we call instances of that component. It just makes it so much easier when I need to update my fields. I decide, oh, I really don't like that color. I want to change it, or I want to change even the shadow or what have you, because we're constantly changing our minds as designers, right? Or updating. It's going to make that change across all those components. But if I wanted to change just the instance of that component, I can do that and it's not going to affect the other ones, any of the other ones. So again, the main component, the one with the big green diamond, that's the one that's going to make the changes to all the others. But if you want to make changes to the copy of it, you totally can, and you can make adjustments and changes to those components, okay? Where those live is over on the left-hand side where my libraries is. You'll also find your components down here, and you can double click into them to label them if you want. Field new neumorphism. Okay, so I have that component. I'm going to make a replica of that component, and then this one I'm changing it so it says password. Great. You guys ready to move on to extruding from the background, or extruded from the background, which feels like this button that you just want to press on. You click. You feel it, you want to do it. That's what I feel when I see it. Let's make it happen. It's going to be so simple. Here, I'm going to just make another copy of this, but I don't want it to be a component. So I'm just going to right click and I'm going to ungroup this component so it's no longer associated with these. This is what I'm going to use as a starting point to create this sign in button. From here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just set that guy in the middle, and over here where it has the white over here on the right hand side, the right inner shadow, instead what I'm going to do is select drop shadow. Oh wow, so cool. No. I don't want an inner shadow, I just want the drop shadow. From here, I am going to put in, this is the gray, light blue. I'm gonna make this that same color there for the drop shadow. And I'm gonna put in 5, 5, and 5. Cool. Then from there, I'm going to go into the other rectangle. So there was the two rectangles. Oh. We have on the left-hand side, there's two rectangles still again. One's going to be the lighter and one's going to be the darker. And I'm just going to place in that fill inside so that you can see now that drop shadow, that darker drop shadow that's there. So now all we need to do is make that lighter shadow, the lighter white shadow on top. So instead of the here we go. I'm going to now make the other one a white drop shadow, and instead of making it 5, I'm doing -5, -5. So it's basically the opposite. What happened to my thing? What happened to my thing? Oh, here we go. Sorry guys, I'm also playing around with still getting used to it myself. Okay, this one doesn't have an inner shadow, it has a drop shadow. 5, 5, and this has a fill. Okay, sorry guys, that was... Need to make this drop shadow, the darker one. There we go. Okay, so let me just break that down again for you so I can show you that those two rectangles separately. Let's just move the word for now. There's two things happening. There is the first rectangle that has the drop shadow with -5 and -5 with a white shadow. Then I have right underneath that another drop shadow, 5, 5, so not negative, it's the opposite of it. 5 and 5 instead of -5, and that has a little bit of the darker blue. And then I just needed to make sure that that white is laid out on top of it, and then it has that look. You can also play around with this where you can make the drop shadow maybe even like a little bit more noticeable. Like, you have fun with it yourself and see what feels right. Because those numbers that I put there, 5, 5, or -5, that's just like a baseline for you. But feel free to like play around with that, and you can make it look even more pronounced or less pronounced. The whole idea of neumorphism is that it's a bit more subtle. So you don't want to do anything too intensive, but it's kind of fun to play around with and see what works for you. Okay. So now I have this button, sign in, and this is also going to be a component. And then after that, I can start to add my images in. I can bring in a rectangle shape, R for rectangle. Then I can throw in an image in there. And I actually grabbed from Adobe stock this type of shape. You can also search in Adobe stock for vector shapes. I'm not great at making vector shapes. So that's what I do is I go on Adobe stock, I find vector shapes in Illustrator files, and you can open up Illustrator files in Adobe XD. So you don't even ever have to get into Illustrator. Makes it really easy. So if I do something like that, I can grab those two elements. I'm grabbing that background image with this shape, and then I'm selecting mask with shape to get that like kind of fun feel there, that little swirly whirly. Then I can again just keep double clicking to get into that background layer, and I can make it bigger or smaller depending on the shape that I'm selecting. Just make that a little smaller. Yeah, there we go. So cute. Then you'll just put in that final, put in this final text, and you got your sign-in screen. Yay. Now, once you have that, you're going to be ready to share it. You're going to want to show it to everyone, right? Because you're like, look at the great work that I did. So from here, what you'll do is you can, if you just want to share the image, you have the option to select the artboard, file, export selected as an image, okay? And you can export that as a PNG image, and that allows you to upload it into Discord. Let's say you want to share this to Behance. You can, when this artboard is selected, I'm gonna see this share icon, and when I select that, it's gonna create a link for me. Once it's created that link, I have a couple options. You can just have this link and you can paste it into any sort of browser. Any sort of browser, and then you can see that link from there. So this is an option if you want to get feedback from other people, etc. But you also now have this option to upload it straight to Behance. So over on the right hand side, I can select the little Behance logo, which is going to open up Behance and already start to create a project for me. This is the fastest way if you want to just upload your work into Behance. So here I have my design. I can also select text if I wanted to add some text into it. My neumorphism, right? You can add text, you can add images, you can add videos. You can also reorder your project. So if you want to have the text on top, you can do that. So you can really play around with that. But what's most important is that you go into settings and you use the XD Creative Challenge tag so that we can all see your work. And it's just that simple now to upload your stuff on Behance and start growing your portfolio and getting your work out there and in front of people. Just from having my own profile on Behance, I get tons of people who reach out to me for projects. So this is such a great way to, potentially get some work out there as well. All right, that's all the pieces there. I am super excited to see your guys' neumorphism projects and excited to see what you do with it. You can go for a darker mode, you can go for different colors, have fun, play around, and I hope to see you guys tomorrow for day 4. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.